Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Omar Harris, and I am back with another video for you guys. I know it's been a minute since I've uploaded a video of me speaking to you guys. I know maybe like the last, I want to say, four or five, maybe six videos that I posted on my YouTube page. It's pretty much been like family type videos. I will post up my pictures of my family. I will post videos of me attending my little niece's soccer game and things like that. So I've been fairly busy within the past, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months. I can't even think of when the last time I posted a video of where I'm kind of like speaking on a particular subject. But I definitely want to kick things off this weekend by talking about some things that kind of been cooking in my brain lately. So today's video, what I want to touch on is two concepts. I want to touch on accountability and I want to touch on discernment. Those are the two things I want to talk about today: accountability and discernment. Now, I'm 30. I'm currently 37 years old. I'll be turning 38 on January the 3rd. So that's about maybe 5 6 weeks from now. Uh, I'll be uh I'll be turning 38. I'll be taking that 38th trip around the sun. And one thing that I can honestly say is that being on this earth for 37 years and some change, I'm able to kind of pick up a thing or two about life. I'm able to gain some knowledge, some wisdom, or some kind of insight, whether it be from the things that I've been taught from my elders, whether it be from things that I've observed, or just just things that I've experienced myself in life. So those are the two things I want to talk about. We're going to start on accountability first. Now, I know I've mentioned this in a previous videos, maybe years ago. One thing, the most important rule that comes with leadership, and this is in any category that you could think of, whether it be a husband, whether it be a father, whether it be a leader in the community, whether it be a leader in the church, a leader or a management position at your job. There's one aspect of leadership that's most important, and this is I'm talking to the men here, and that is everything is your fault. Y'all didn't hear what I just said. As a leader, everything is your fault. Even when it's not your fault, it's still your fault. How many men do you know have that type of mentality when it comes down to life? Now, this is not to say, because I get it, I understand we are all human, we are all flawed, right? We're going to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. Even when we're trying to do as best as we can and we're being careful, we will still inadvertently make certain mistakes. That's just human nature. But you're not judged on many mistakes that you make. You're judged on whether or not you take ownership of those mistakes and you're working to improve from that point forward. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? So I'm not saying that you don't have to be somebody that you're gonna just beat yourself up after every mistake you make. But guess what? When you have that mentality that everything is my fault, even when it's not my fault, it's still not still my fault, you're gonna move through life a certain type of way. You're gonna move through life with more purpose and more urgency to get things done, get things accomplished, making calculated moves, making chess moves. And this goes for all aspects of life. This goes for all aspects, whether it be career, whether it be dating relationships, whether it be relationships you have with your family, hobbies, different interests, any kind of goal that you're trying to reach. This is included in all those aspects. Is accountability, because that's, to be honest with you, that is the elephant in the room. A lot of people that you know and that I know are not accountable for the choices that they've made. Now, like I said, this is not to degrade anybody. This is not to belittle anybody. I'm more of the mindset where I'm trying to help us improve because I'm all about self-development, self-improvement. I'm the type of person that I myself is not going to expect something from you that I don't bring to the table myself. So if I don't hold myself accountable for the things that I do in life, why should I expect that from you or from anybody that's on my team or anything like that? So that's one of the main things is accountability is a must. Another thing too to go along with accountability is discernment. Now I haven't looked up the Webster's definition of discernment. I haven't really looked it up on Google, but if you really think about what that word means, you kind of get an idea of what that's talking about. Discernment, being able to recognize things and see things, being able to see patterns, being able to use that what you would call that third eye. You got these two eyes, and you got that third spiritual eye that's able to see things that may not be visibly there from the naked eye. Being able to detect the patterns, being able to not only see down the street, but you can see down the street and around the corner. And a lot of that has to do with life experience and the wisdom that you gain from those experiences. When it comes down to discernment, one thing that I have mentioned, I mentioned this a while back when I had the opportunity to facilitate a singles workshop a couple years back. One of the things that I brought forward was that I know I was addressing the women in the crowd, but this goes for the men too. I was telling the women, I said, you know what? We don't have the ability or the power to be able to predict the future. We can't predict what's going to happen next week, next month, next year, let alone what's going to happen at the end of this day. So we don't have that power to predict the future, right? Only God is able to see the beginning from the end, and He know how everything's going to play out. We don't have that power. But guess what we do have? We have that discernment where we can't predict the future, but we can get a preview of what could potentially happen in the future. So when I was addressing the women, I said, look, if you meet a man and he's immature, he's irresponsible, he's a mama's boy when you meet him, there's a very good chance he's going to be immature, irresponsible mama's boy 10, 15, 20 years from now. Now, this is how it ties back to accountability because a lot of the times what some women, especially when they're younger and may have less life experience, what they tend to do is that they figure that, oh, if I marry this guy, he's going to straighten up and change for the better. If I have a baby with this guy, he's going to straighten up and change. And a lot of the times they get frustrated because they're not the man that they thought that he should be. And they figured out, oh, since I'm with this guy, he's going to change just off the strength that he's being with me. And that's not the case. So you're wasting all this time, you're wasting all these years, and you're wasting your youth on bad potential. So you got to be a little more calculated, a little more smart as to who do you choose to deal with. And the same thing that go for men too. Could the same thing go for us as men? Because a lot of us, we make decisions based on the head that's downstairs instead of the head that's up here. You missed what I just said. You want to know why a lot of men get into trouble? It's because of our lust. I know women lust too. Women lust just as much, if not more than men sometimes. But that's what get us in trouble, especially when it comes down to making certain decisions. We make decisions based off of the head downstairs instead of the heads up here. There are certain things that you can see that if it's not quite right, you don't need to pursue that any longer. That goes with relationships, with business, friendships, whatever. If there are certain toxic traits that you see, believe them the first time. Believe them the first. There's certain things that you see that ain't quite right. if somebody is a little bit mentally unstable, that's not something that you can just turn on and turn off. That ain't just a flippable switch type of thing. That's some deep-seated, unresolved issues that that person need to get therapy for, need to get some type of spiritual guidance, spiritual help for. They need to address that. So a lot of the times when women go after, these type of guys, or they may have had a history of being with, the not so desirable guys, when they come across somebody that's decent, if they didn't, what I'm saying, have like a strong male role model, a strong father in their life, or the guys they chose wasn't really up to par, they have a lot of resentment. They may have a bad or a poor disposition towards men. So guess who gets the brunt of that frustration? It's the decent guy. And a lot of times they may not come across this guy until they get to their mid 30s, maybe late 30s, early 40s. But that guy ends up getting the brunt of all their frustration from things that have happened in the past. And it has nothing to do with this guy. So, do you see why discernment is so important when it comes to our decision making? It's this right here. I'll just give this example, right? When you have discernment, when you operate with discernment, usually people, when they talk, they share things with you. You may have some people that love to, they're like an open book. They'll tell you everything. But one thing with that discernment, you hear everything the person says, and then you hear the stuff that they don't say. You hear everything they say, and you're taking it in, but you're hearing the things that they don't say because everybody is not upfront with their whole life story. Any of y'all that got kids, right? I'll just give this a sample before I close out this video. Y'all got kids. The kid comes home. Let's say the kid was out in the neighborhood with his friends. They got into some trouble, or they was just in school cutting up. The kid comes home. Kid tells you everything that everybody else is doing. Oh, so-and-so did this. So-and-so pushed so-and-so down. So-and-so was clowning. So-and-so was acting up. I'm sure you as a parent will look at your child and say, okay, I hear everything you're saying, but what is it that you did? What did you do? Because all that is telling me that you was part of that ruckus too. You was part of that nonsense too. You can recall what everybody else is doing, but you don't want to admit the things that you've done as far as getting involved in that ruckus. And that ties us back to accountability. So that's my word today, man. Accountability and discernment. So y'all let me know what y'all think. And give me your 2 cents when it pertains to those type of those two lessons there. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.